This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Basically, folks, we are back to normal, which is good. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want any kind of extended drama.
The purpose of tonight's stream and tonight's video here is to basically take a lot of the things that, common things, misconceptions about me, slanderous statements, memes, things about Dark Side Phil that have been said over the last 7 years, and kind of try to at least denounce them, debunk them, or at least tell you the truth about that situation. Now, you don't have to believe me, and the bottom line is there will be thousands of people out there that probably will never believe me no matter what I say and do anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to be doing is going down a list. I actually have a list of things here that I want to address live on the stream tonight.
That's the definition of a drama queen, seriously. I will be accepting, you know, contributions during the stream as usual. Oh my god!
Back before I ever live streamed, back before I ever did any direct capture, way back when, alright? I used to make racial jokes, okay? I used to make racial jokes. Now, the racial jokes that I made, I used to call myself an equal opportunity offender. One of the biggest, and I will admit this to this, now I will publicly say this, one of the biggest mistakes that I actually feel that I made in my early career as a content creator is that I was making Nazi jokes. At least I'm proud to say I haven't made a joke like that in 9 years, okay? But people will still bring it up to this day and say that Phil is a racist and Phil is totally, you know, he hates the Jews. Did you ever see that video that he made where he was playing the Dead Space 2 demo and he was pretending to be Isaac Himmler, the last remaining Nazi, and saying that because the Jews ran rampant across the universe that they infected the whole universe with a necrovirus and he wants to turn on the ovens and burn all the Jews.
Oh my god! It's terrible!
It actually happened. You know, I'll always fess up to that. It's out there public on the internet. You can't hide it. It's something very incredibly stupid that I did.
Here's the thing, that actually got me banned off of a website that was not YouTube. It got me banned off of a website called blip.tv.
My trolls staged a campaign, which they later admitted publicly was a fake campaign. They mass emailed Blip TV, pretending to be hundreds of upset people, saying, how dare you have someone on your site who's making this kind of comedy and kind of commentary and stuff like that. They kicked me off the site, alright? It sucks. I was banned from Blip TV because of troll activities.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
But now in the modern era, I can fess up to it and tell you guys I'm not like that anymore.
I'm playing a woodwind instrument. I'm Japanese. So I would say, on purpose, the most absolutely ridiculous stuff, just to see how people would react and to get attention. You know, I would say racially charged stuff. I was an equal opportunity jokester. I would basically joke about every race and every ethnicity. It wasn't that I was honing in on one and being racist about it. I would regularly joke about my own Italian heritage. Where I grew up, it was normal to do that stuff. It was normalized behavior. It wasn't seen as a negative. It wasn't seen as an insult. And then, once I got to the World Wide Web and I got exposed to thousands upon thousands of people all over the world, and people started telling me, no, Phil, you know, that is kind of offensive what you're doing when you say that stuff, right? I kind of opened my eyes a little bit, and I was like, wow, you know, I didn't know that just generically saying a term like that could actually be seen as something insulting to someone. I didn't get it. You know? I
realized how stupid and dumb that shit was. You know, it's kind of similar when people say Phil used to always be over-sexualized. It's true. I used to be very over-sexualized. When I was starting up videos on YouTube back in the day, 10 years ago, it was all about getting that teen audience to watch you. So talking about the size of the tits on that girl and, you know, sex joke here and there, nipple here, you know, all that stuff was very popular back then. But now I don't do it anymore. I phased it out of my content. It's hilarious because I now do video game playthroughs regularly every day on Twitch, and people in the stream chat will make sexual comments about things going on, and I don't. I ignore it. I stay away from it. In 2012, I made public my relationship with a woman at that time who was my girlfriend, okay? And she very much became a part of my content over a 5-year span that I was involved with this woman. She went by Pandalee. on the internet. That was her nickname or whatever. And there's always been lies and slander and complete horrific nonsense regarding my relationship with Panda Lee, which is horseshit. And the thing is, it's in my past. I mean, we haven't been together in over 2 years. I now have married to a beautiful, lovely woman named Kat, and my life is great. But the thing is, people to this day still fucking bring up this bullshit. So tonight, for the first time ever, I'm debunking this bullshit. Alright? The first thing that everyone fucking says to me is that, Phil, you first met Panda Lee when she was underage. She was under the age of 18. When you first started talking to her, you were grooming her so that you would finally go out with her and all this shit. And all of that is complete and utter fucking bullshit nonsense. False.
Okay, where's the evidence? Present evidence of what you're saying.
She actually, as a fan, a viewer, private messaged me on my DsPgaming channel. I believe the very first date was that it was like November of 2011. November of 2011. I didn't know who she was. Basically, she was just someone friendly, someone who I had talked to back and forth via messaging for about 2 months. And then after that, we wanted to start talking a little bit more, so we started texting each other. And, you know, it just grew from there. And then we dated on and off from the year of 2012, I say probably early to mid-2012, all the way through 2014, when eventually she moved in with me as we moved across the country out here to the state of Washington. And she lived with me from 2014 until early 2017 when we broke up, okay?
Salud.
And one of the misconceptions that everyone tells me is that, oh, Phil, she was underage when you started talking to her and dating her and doing stuff with her behind the scenes, and you're a pedophile and all this crazy shit. It's all bullshit. And the thing is, if anyone actually had a fucking brain in their head who said this, they would do the math and figure it out. She's always made public her birthdays. She would do social media posts. Sometimes there were videos about her birthday. Like, this was a common thing that would happen, is that you would know that her birthday's in late August, and she was 18 years old the first time I ever even spoke to her in a YouTube message.
Really?
I never knew her before when she was underage and never even heard of her. It's ludicrous that people would just make this shit up and try to slander me and shit like that because they want to hurt me, basically. But no, the truth of the matter is, I never, ever spoke with her until she was 18 years old. She messaged me, not the other way. She messaged me on YouTube when she was 18.
Sure.
And honestly, at first, the relationship was great, and it didn't work out. I honestly will tell you to this day, because I think we were too much of an age gap apart. She had ideas of what she wanted to do with her life and stuff that I was far past that. I wanted to have a more settled life where we're just kind of settled in a home, and it's an adult life. You work, you pay your bills, you go out every once in a while and have fun. While she was more the adventurous type, she wanted to constantly travel, and she wanted to do all shit that we couldn't do. I couldn't afford to do it. And we just grew apart over the years. And it's the bottom line is it didn't work out, I think, mostly, because of the age difference. I think that's what it was, is that, you know, having that big amount of an age gap. At first it was fun because we were dating, so she would come and visit me and we'd spend some time. Every once in a while I would go and visit her and we'd go on these trips and stuff together, and it worked out nice. But then when we finally started living together and we kind of realized maybe we weren't as compatible as we thought because we were such a big age gap, alright? And that's the truth of the matter behind all of that bullshit that people make up, okay? Alright, let's be very clear about the very end of the relationship, because people basically made shit up completely about that, saying someone dumped someone or did this or did that. So we didn't announce when we broke up. We purposely didn't, to keep it hidden, because we didn't want people to be fucking around with our lives, alright? But there was one particular day when I was streaming, I believe I was doing like a podcast, and I get a call, alright? The call is from my ex's job, saying, your ex, you know, had a medical issue, and we need you to come pick her up. And I'm like, well, first of all, she's my ex. We don't go out anymore. So why am I getting this call? So apparently there was no one else, none of her friends wanted to help her or whatever. I don't know the deal. I don't know the truth of the matter behind the scenes at all, okay?
Fuck you. You're a liar.
At that point, my ex was in the process of moving out of the house. Like, she had some of her stuff out already, and she was staying somewhere else temporarily, but she was kind of half in, half out at this time. So I was like, well, I guess I'll do the nice thing. I'll be the nice guy. I'll go and get her and figure out what the hell's going on. By the time that I had gotten to her job, I had to pay for an Uber and everything. By the time that I got into her job, she was already at the hospital. So
I took the car, because by the way, I was still letting her drive my car, despite the fact that we were broken up. She was still driving my car. I was that nice of a guy. What?
I go to the hospital to find out what the hell's actually going on, and I guess she had had a panic attack. Now, this is all public information. We talked about it 2 years ago. I'm not revealing anything that hasn't already been revealed, all right? They'd given her some kind of a pill. I don't even know what it was. Was it an antidepressant? Was it, I don't even know, because I'm not involved anymore. You know, she's my ex. I don't know any of the ins and outs of what the fuck's really going on, right? I don't know anything. But anyway, she was all zonked out because she had been given medication. So finally, after sitting in this hospital room for almost 3 hours, they tell you can go now. Gee, thanks. So let me get this straight. You drove an ambulance to her job. You gave her a single pill. You drove her to the hospital to have her sit in a room for 3 hours, and now I'm driving her away. And you're probably going to charge her thousands of dollars for this too, right? Now, the thing is, again, we had been broken up and it wasn't publicly disclosed. So I couldn't tell all you guys that this was things that I was upset about because she was going to get billed for it. I knew she was going to get completely ripped off for this whole hospital stay. That's what I was angry about at the time, but I couldn't disclose that to you guys because I was talking about like we, like we're going to get billed. In reality, it's all on her. And you know, she has a job. She works a job where I know it's going to be hard for her to pay thousands of dollars of bills for a hospital stay and shit. Okay? So all that being said, all right, when I came back home, she was all zonked out or whatever, and she's like, you're going to go on your stream now and tell everyone about the story, right? I was like, of course I am, as long as it's okay with you. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. So I did. I came back, I did a stream where I explained exactly what I just told you guys. Basically, the story ins and outs, only I had to spin it to not let you know that we were already broken up, okay? And then it was actually over the course of the next week or two that she moved all her stuff out, and that was the end of our relationship. That was it. And all I saw on the internet was slander. Phil, without permission, went online and disclosed a medical issue with his girlfriend slash fiance, because at the time we were supposedly engaged, even though we had broken up. People thought we were still engaged. And gave all her medical history to everyone on the internet, and then said that he's not giving permission for her to ever have an ambulance come and pick her up ever again, that from now on, no one should ever call the emergency line, but instead they should just hand her a pill and leave her alone. Like, what the fuck? Where did you get that from the story that I told? Like, that's not even close to what happened.
Chronic liar.
All right, I was concerned that here's someone who I'm already broken up with. I went out of my way to help her. I didn't have to. We weren't together anymore. But I went out of my fucking way to go help her. All right, and I basically get slammed for having my concerns over her financial well-being because I know she's going to get a giant bill from the hospital when they didn't do anything. They literally didn't do a fucking thing for her besides hand her a pill at the store where she had her fucking panic attack. It's preposterous. Now, the other thing is people saying, oh, well, that's all well and good, but, you didn't have permission to do that. Well, then why, literally why, when I was here on my stream talking about it publicly, was she on her social media posting up, don't worry everyone, I'm okay. There's a picture of her with her hospital bracelet on. Don't worry everyone, I'm okay. Because it was okay, because there was always permission given, but people are fucking assholes, Seriously, they just make shit up. They make shit up to perfectly hurt me, all right, to make me look bad, all right? Yeah, that's the other thing. So, just so you guys know, I have a list. I actually have a list of things that are common misconceptions that people slander about me. Demanded she never go to a hospital ever again. Instead, they just give her a pill and leave her where they found her. How could I have made that demand when we were broken up? Let's talk a little bit about Project 7. Because I hate to tell you guys this, but I've already addressed this before. Project 7 was in the whole gamut of the time that I did stuff for YouTube. Project 7 was the one time when I said, I want to do something not by myself, but collaborate with other talented people. And I want to make something that's not related to video games, not related to any kind of content like that whatsoever. Instead, what I want is to do a creative series. And so I teamed up with my then co-op partner, John Rambo, as well as our colleague, he's sometimes a co-op partner, but mostly we knew him from playing Street Fighter, Howard, as well as teaming up with Howard's friends, one of which was his cousin, in a group called Respect the Pact, and we made this show called Project 7.
Phil's a scam artist.
But, for what I've heard, is that people say, to this day, say, well, Phil scammed his friends, or he ripped off his friends and never paid them for anything, and that's why they hate him to this day. Bullshit. That's complete and utter fucking bullshit. All right, first of all, John Rambo, he and I had a long-standing work relationship outside of Project 7, where he would come and do the Smart Guys Wrestling Podcast with me once a week, and then we would do some kind of gameplay together, co-op gameplay, whether it was co-op commentary or co-op, game that was co-op, whatever it may be. I will now tell you guys, he was handsomely paid for all of that stuff. When we first started, he got paid 50% of everything that we made money on. He got half of what I made. So every Saturday, John comes over. If we made a ridiculous amount of money on what we did that day, he got half.
Wow.
Okay? That's just me being very transparent here. He always got half. I felt that was fair. Even though he could say, oh, well, Phil should make more because he's the YouTuber and he's the one who's putting the content up and doing the uploading work and he's the one who has the internet presence and all of that. I didn't care. I wanted him to make half because I cared that much about him being my friend and coming and doing this fun, creative stuff together, and I wanted him to financially have some help and stuff, so I gave him half. All right? Now, sadly, what ended up happening was, later on, with my relationship with Machinima, my old YouTube partnership company, they started refusing to even give me stats on how much money I was making on my videos. That's how bad Machinima got near the end. They wouldn't even fucking come, all right, and say, all right, here's how much money you made this month on each video. They wouldn't even give me that data. They'd say it's not available anymore. So then what John and I did is we would say, okay, let's figure out together a fair amount of money for you to come do this every week, because we can't figure out the actual half anymore. It's not even possible to figure it out. Instead, let's just say, okay, let's make an arrangement where every time you come visit and we do this co-op work together, I'll pay you this amount of money. And that's what we did probably for the last 2 years that we did co-op. We had to do it that way. So like the first 2 years, he was making half, and the second 2 years, he was making a negotiated amount that he wanted. This was his idea, his amount that he wanted to make, okay?
He's a piece of crap. He's a lying piece of crap.
By the way, I don't think that anyone ever, I don't think that John ever publicly said anything like I never paid him or anything. That's bullshit. Like, John himself never said that. He never said that Phil never paid me for the work. I think John was always upfront and honest. He never said how much, but he always was very honest about it, okay? So I don't understand why people to this day will say that I've ripped off my friends and I didn't pay them. Now, in regards to Project 7, all right, which is the one thing that honestly, you know, didn't go right, and people can say, okay, well, you know, people didn't get paid or whatever. Up front, we had meetings. 2 of them, not 1, 2 fucking meetings up front before we even started production of Project 7 on making money on it. And it was going to be that I was going to make the ad revenue on the videos, but we were going to try to sell the Project 7 t-shirts, and whatever we sold, we would get an equal cut, depending on who financed them. And who financed them? Me and Howard. We were the 2 people who financed them in the end, because we had to make those t-shirts up front before we could actually sell them. It wasn't like today on Teespring where you could just have them be made on the fly. Instead, back then, that didn't even exist. There was nothing like Teespring. You had to make the t-shirts early, pay for them up front, and sell them. And we had plans to go to conventions and sell them and do all this stuff. Respect the Pack didn't want any money at all. I had asked them up front, what do you guys want out of this? And they said, we want exposure. We want our channels on YouTube to get exposure as a result of working on the project with you. And then the one thing that we all collectively agreed on was that we were going to eventually, when we finish the series, make a DVD set and try to sell that and make big money on that, because that could be a really cool collectible that viewers want.
There was never discussion that people were going to get paid based on how the videos performed on YouTube. There was never discussion about how much money anyone's investing in the series. There was never discussion about anyone getting a paycheck out of it. Ever. It never happened, okay? Oh, Phil's a scammer, and Phil took the money.
Now, I guess the one mistake that I made is I was the one who everything was on the line. I was the one with the YouTube channel that was big. I was the one who ultimately, if things went wrong, was going to get the flack for it, right? So what I probably should have done, and I'll tell you right now, if I ever do something like this again, I know to do it, is I will have a fucking contract drawn up. A legal contract, all right? By which, if I'm going to have a business arrangement in the future, I know everyone signs it and it's in writing, so these guys can't come back years later and make stuff up and say, oh, Phil never paid us and none of that.
You never said you wanted money. Our agreement was there was no payment to come.
In fact, and this is the truth of the matter, people very, very much overestimated the amount of money that Project 7 ever made. If you look at the Project 7 videos themselves, I think the highest viewed one ever was like, at that time, like 180,000 views. In reality, I probably made $300 on that video.
That's 100% a lie. Back in the day when I was rolling in dough, that 1 year that I made big YouTube money when I was actually popular on YouTube.
That's it. 180,000 views, you know, it doesn't equate to a lot of money. It's like $300 or $300 on a video like that. And so if you add it up, okay, Project 7 had 4 episodes, plus a few trailers or whatever. What did I make, like $1,000 on the whole thing?
I'm in the wrong.
Well, guess what? I spent more money myself on Project 7 than I ever made, because I bought all the prop guns, the replicas, those guns you saw in the videos that were hundreds of dollar props. I bought all those. I bought games and supplies and things. I was buying supplies for the shoot and everything. Like, I was the one financing the whole thing. So I spent more money than I ever made on Project 7. There was no profit. It was not a profitable thing at all. In fact, it was a loss. The t-shirts that we had, all right, the t-shirts that we had bought to sell, we didn't sell half of them. So I spent more money on the t-shirts than I ever made. And the funny part about the whole thing is Howard apparently is so angry at me because we invested money in these shirts and he never got paid for the shirts. Dude, I still have half of them in the fucking house. We didn't sell them. If you don't sell it, there's no profit to fucking pay it off. I never got my money back for the shirts, so why should you?
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
That was what you call a bad investment. We put money into something that didn't sell. The series got canceled because your friends in Respect the Pack decided not to continue with the series because they weren't getting the exposure that they wanted. So they had sour grapes about putting so much work into the series and not getting the exposure they wanted. Oops, we had already agreed with Phil that we weren't going to take any money, so they just quit, and then we couldn't sell shirts anymore. It's my fault, so now I'm supposed to give all Howard's money back that he invested into these shirts, even though I didn't make my money back, so I'm gonna take not only a loss for the investment, but now I'm gonna pay him his money back and lose a double investment? You see what I mean? This is insanity.
I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber. Really? Me too. I just love money. I can't ever get enough. Hoarding all this money.
But this is how I guess these guys were thinking. They thought that Project 7 was going to be some giant cash cow that was going to get them rich and famous or something. I don't fucking know. But for anyone to come at me and say that I did anything dishonest, when in reality, I was the most upfront fucking guy possible in that whole situation. We purposely had meetings before we ever did a lick of work to make sure we were all on the same page about it. And as I've told you guys many times over the years, it was all passive-aggressive shit. Respect the Pack never came out and was honest with me of why they quit the show. Howard over the years became more disgruntled and didn't really want to be in my content anymore and wouldn't really explain why. And it didn't come out until a video made randomly in 2015, a year after I had moved out of Connecticut. Oh, well, he never paid us and all this. And I'm like, now wait a minute. I lived in Connecticut the whole fucking time. You couldn't come to me and talk to me and discuss it. You know what I mean? You know, instead of that, it's stupid shit where they hold in all this resentment and anger towards me and then make a video about it, you know, years later, when in reality, none of what they were saying was fucking true.
Well, that's a great theory, Phil, but where's your evidence? Oh, I don't need evidence. I just made it, it's just what I believe.
It was their expectations of what was going to come out of the project, not actually what we had talked about and agreed to when we started work on the project, okay? Oh, this is a good one. I gotta talk about this one. Phil made money off of his dead friends. Okay? I used to have a podcast where I would talk about a variety of topics. And there were two shows in particular, all right, where I talked about and did tributes to two friends of mine who had passed away.
Anything for this, right?
So one episode of my podcast, I did a tribute segment to him, and I a very heartfelt segment of a podcast that I had done was dedicated to the memory of T. Carter. I talked all about how he was always better than me at Street Fighter, all this stuff, I'm not going to go into detail about it because that's not what this is about, but it was a very heartfelt thing. And then after I finished the podcast, people say, you made money off your dead friend's memories. What? I made money off of my friend because it was a monetized video. So let me get this straight. Every show ever on television that has a tribute to someone who passed away, they're making money off of that because there's advertisements that run on that television show, right? I mean, God forbid someone ever do a tribute to anyone that's ever existed. If any penny of money is transacted anywhere, that means that you made money off a dead friend's memory. It's insane. Now, the other thing is, a similar thing happened a couple years later, my friend Scott Hovanissian. So I decided on a podcast to do a very small segment where I discussed the passing of him and saying, rest in peace, and he was a good guy. And
I made money off of my friend because it was a monetized video.
And again, the same slander. Phil made money off of his deceased friends. It's like, are you fucking... You've got to be brain dead to think that that's the true thing.
Because it was a monetized video, for some reason I'm the fucking devil because I made money on a dead friend. It's insanity. It really is insanity, okay? Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm going to burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it. You can't change who you are, I guess.
Here's one that's new to me. I didn't even hear about this one until today. I groomed two fangirls and used them for sex and extra money. What? Like, what? What the fuck? I don't even know what that is. I don't know how you could even say that. Where's there any evidence of that? I mean, I don't even know where that's coming from. I have no clue where the fuck that's coming from at all. Like, what? That's a first. And I didn't make that up. It's on the same fucking list here that I pulled right off of fucking Twitter today that people believe this. The thing is, like I said, my life's always been very transparent, and it wasn't until, when I started dating Kat that I made things more private. But you guys know how busy I am. You guys know how much I work. You guys see I'm on stream all the time. I'm making videos constantly. When the fuck was I secretly grooming two fangirls for these covert meetings and shit? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This shit is just out of control, all right? I mean, and of course, that would lead into Phil said that he needed money for taxes, and he used it to buy an escort from Europe to fly the escort multiple times across the world to spend time with him so he could pretend like he had a girlfriend and all that. And of course, that thing was all debunked because that was proven that was actually a middle-aged couple over in fucking like Central Europe or some weird shit who had been catfishing people for like a decade doing this, and they were using other people's personas and online profiles and basically doing identity theft to pretend to be other people. And what they would end up doing is try to blackmail people. So I think what their game was is that eventually what they wanted to do to me by lying on the internet and saying that, oh, I'm an escort, that I was a fill or whatever, they were going to try to blackmail me and say, well, if you pay us a certain amount of money, we'll go away and never say this ever again. But I don't care about that shit. I already had so many people talking shit about me. I didn't care, and I just said, fuck you, and I ignored it, and it went away within 2 months when finally people did the research, you know, and found out that it was this crazy couple doing insane shit, okay?
I need a sip.
I wanted to hit an 11-year-old girl. You're right. I just wanted to just, you know, punch a girl right in the fucking face. I cop up to that one. No! What the fuck are you talking about? This all spawned from 2 years ago. I was playing this stupid VR chat thing, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know what it is.
Good, now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that.
What it's supposed to be. And there was a girl on there who obviously should not have been playing VR chat unsupervised. You could tell she was probably like 11 years old, probably accurate. That's about how old she sounded. Why the fuck her parents are letting her play VR chat, the world of disgusting people going in there saying swears and sexual things and all kinds of fucked up stuff, right? That's just crazy, right? But there was a girl who I walked into a room and literally just became an insane brat, insulting me and saying nasty shit to me. I didn't even say a word. And she was saying like nasty shit direct to me. I was like, damn, you know, that girl needs a fucking smack or something. I don't even remember exactly what I said, but it was a reactionary thing, basically saying, you know, she needs a smack. But, you know, so I made a comment, off-the-cuff comment about that. It wasn't to the kid, by the way. It was a private comment. It wasn't like I ran up to the kid's face and insulted the kid. It was just to my streaming audience. I said, damn, you know, that girl deserves a smack for acting like that. And they twisted that into Phil wants to beat up an 11-year-old girl. What the fuck? Now, if I had actually said on stream I want to beat up an 11-year-old girl, do you think I'd be on Twitch today? Of course not.
And all of a sudden, a message pops up and appears in my stream chat. This account has been suspended from Twitch. I'm going to get banned if I keep doing it.
They would have banned me, but I didn't say that. It was an off-the-cuff comment. It's stupidity. It's absolute stupidity, that things that people say and twist the shit into. Okay? Let's talk about recently. I mean, anyone who's been watching my stuff in the last 2 years knows that I'm financially not in a very good situation. You know, every time that it looks like I'm getting ahead somehow, sadly, I get screwed, alright? But in particular, these last couple of years, there's been two things that have really been hurting me. One is those back state taxes that I owed thousands upon thousands of dollars out of nowhere. I didn't have the money for them.
Well, first of all, there's no evidence of anything because you can't prove that.
And the other is right now my federal taxes, which I couldn't pay this last year, and I'm going on a payment plan.
I have to pull evidence and shit out of my ass and say, look at this document. No, I don't owe that to anybody. All right, I don't.
In order to try to make up for it, okay? Now, I don't have anyone to appeal to. I don't have an extensively huge family who's made of money who I can ask for stuff. So for me, I'm really just, I'm dependent on trying to figure shit out for myself. And I share this stuff with you guys. And I have to say, you guys have been so insanely supportive.
Thanks for the money, dummies. Phil stole fan donations that went towards a Project 7 reboot.
Every statement in that is false. All right, besides maybe my name. Stole? I didn't steal anything. What they're talking about is a Patreon goal level that was hit for 1 month in the summer of like 2015. Maybe it was 2016, but I'm almost positive it was as far back as 2015. Not stole. It was raised legitimately via a Patreon goal level. All right.
Unbelievable.
Fan donations. They weren't fan donations. They were Patreon contributions. That's different. That went towards a Project 7 reboot. Wrong. It wasn't for a Project 7 reboot. It was for me to take some time out that month to do a Project 7 reboot trailer. A trailer that was probably going to be 30 seconds long. Okay? So, for years, I've been slandered, being told that you stole money from your viewers for a Project 7 reboot, and none of that statement is true at all.
It was a complete fabricated lie.
I'll be very honest with all of you. Out of all the people that were big adamant fans of mine back then, there was one guy who was very upset with me. One guy was so upset with me, he said, I'm not going to watch your content anymore. You told us you were making a Project 7 and you didn't do it, and therefore, I'm not going to watch you ever again. I know who he is to this day.
But outside of that, no one else cared. All right? Now, what I didn't just say, oh, here's $350 extra. Let me just pocket that.
No, what I actually did is the next month on Patreon, I lowered all the Patreon goals by $350. I said, instead of having a tier 1 goal at 250, we're just going to do a special goal just to start. And then the next goal will be like 150. The next goal is 400. So I lowered everything by 300 to 350 bucks. Again, these are not correct numbers. These are numbers I'm pulling out of my butt. I'm just giving you an example, okay?
I didn't make the trailer. I 100% will tell you I didn't make the Project 7 trailer. I never made it. But, oh my God, look at this bullshit. Another Fisher. Holy fuck.
But it was because my viewers at the time were telling me not to. That it was a bad goal. I should have never done it. I should have been doing other stuff. That's what they wanted to see me do. So I did what my viewership told me to do. And to this day, people still tell me I stole money. Some people said, why didn't I just refund all the money? You can't. The reason being was there's no way to tell who pledged on Patreon just to see Project 7. It's not like a crowdfunded, it's not like a GoFundMe. You know, when you go to a Kickstarter and you want to finance a campaign, oh, I paid you $5 because I want to see you make a video game, right? That's not how it is. People give me Patreon money because just in general, some people just like the content I put out. Some people are actually directly pledging to get a perk level, a reward level. Some people want a goal to be hit. So they're all pledging for different reasons. You can't specifically say, okay, well, I had 1,000 people who pledged to my Patreon this month. Gee, I wonder how many actually pledged just to see the Project 7 reboot. How do I refund them specifically their money? You can't. It's impossible. It's just a stupid thing that kids would suggest is like, oh, see, Phil didn't refund any money, therefore that's why he stole the money. You can't refund the money, dumbass, but that's the thing. They'll say that stupid shit just to make me look bad, okay?
Salt. That's all I can taste is salt.
I'm a thief. I'm a scammer. I'm a liar. I'm a pedophile. I'm abusive.
The whole Project 7 thing was complete nonsense, alright? But in regards to the recent things that have happened with me raising tax funds, there were two specific times, alright, when I needed to raise tax funds. Once was in the fall/late 2017, because I needed to pay a state tax payment by the end of 2017, and then I had to pay a bunch of money in 2018 for state taxes, okay? I announced this dilemma of mine in November of 2017 on my Thanksgiving Day podcast. I did a Thanksgiving Day special podcast, and I announced this problem to my viewing audience on Thanksgiving Day 2017. You can go back and watch it. It's still live over on my vlogging channel, The King of Hate Vlogs, all right? Now, during 2017 was the year when early in the year I broke up with my ex, and I started talking to and then dating my now wife, Kat. Okay? Now, Kat didn't live around here, and she had to visit me a couple times. I had to take time away from streaming and stuff to spend time with her. I didn't disclose that that was happening because I knew if I did, people would be trying to get up in our private shit. Alright? But what people say to this day, Phil raised all that money for the taxes so he could secretly fly his new girlfriend across the country to spend time with him. Now, let's look at the timeline. Well, the first time that Kat came to visit me was the summer of 2017. The second time she came to visit me was the fall, which I believe was October of 2017, because she actually helped me pick out my Halloween costume for the Halloween special that I did that year. I announced my financial dilemma about the state taxes in Thanksgiving of 2017. So obviously what Phil did is he announced it so he could raise funds, go back in time, and pay for the 2 visits beforehand. You fucking dumbasses. You talk out of your fucking asses about this stuff and make the most crazy, controversial, insane theories that make no fucking sense. It's such a weird conspiracy.
Me just sitting back and laughing my ass off at how stupid these people are. And laughing it up because of the hideous scam of me saying that I had tax issues this year, right?
Like, how the fuck do you think that money that I talked about and raised later in the year paid for the trips that happened earlier, you fucking buffoons? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, the bottom line is this. If I had raised money for... Well, I said that wrong. The truth of the matter was that if I didn't raise enough money to get out of this state tax situation, I didn't know how I was going to pay the state taxes. And because of that, I was afraid the state would either put a lien on my home, or I didn't know how much it was going to be that I owed the state at that point, and I was thinking tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had no idea. And I was thinking I might have to sell my house. Alright, so I actually told Kat at that point, I don't even know if we can plan our next trip. I don't know when's the next time I can see you. You know, this really sucks, because obviously, at that point, we had been dating for months. I spent a lot of time with her, and it was working out. We wanted to advance to the next stage of our relationship, and we couldn't, because I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen with all these taxes and everything. I had no clue what was going to happen with taxes and all that stuff. So, our life was on hold. Now, thank God, hallelujah, you know, and I'm so grateful that you guys and gals and fans helped me out and raised enough money so that I paid off the state taxes. I was able to handle it.
And because of that, Kat was able to move in with me in early 2018. But if I didn't raise the money to pay off those state taxes, I probably would have said our relationship's kind of on hold until we figure this stuff out. So you guys rallied at the end of last year. You were very supportive here on stream. So thank you for that. You guys are the reason why I'm still here right now, and you're the reason why my girlfriend Kat was able to move in last month.
Alright, continuing on here. So yeah, it's insanity that people say that I lied about taxes to raise money to fly Kat out here to spend time with me. She flew out here to visit me before I ever even announced my tax problems. There's no fucking way that could have ever happened. And the timeline is there. You can see that when the video came out and when I started talking about her and everything, revealing stuff about her, it's horseshit. It doesn't make any sense what people are saying. They're out of their minds, okay? Now, of course, the latest controversy was I had this issue with my federal taxes, and I told you guys I needed help, and I did a couple marathon streams to raise money with the federal taxes, and you guys, between you guys helping me and my parents helping me, I raised enough money to qualify for this payment plan for the taxes that I didn't pay in the last year, and that's in process right now. But now, then, incidentally, when all that was going on, already I had been in the works and talks with my parents to go visit them because my parents are very elderly at this point. I don't say very elderly. They're not very elderly. They're in their 60s, but each of them has different health problems. My dad has problems with his back and his heart, and my mom has numerous problems with, going on over the years.
And immediately you get a dickhead like ITG Jake. I'm going to read it because I've had enough and he's permanently banned now. Do you want us to give you money to see your parents? Fuck you, Jake. How about that? Fuck you. No. Because you don't wait 5 seconds to let me finish what I'm saying. Now, not only are you permanently banned, but now we all get to laugh at you publicly for being an insensitive piece of fucking shit when I'm bearing my heart to the fucking stream. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm not asking anyone for money to go to Connecticut to see my parents. In fact, it's the actual complete polar opposite situation, okay? It's basically at this point a necessity, a make or break. If I don't go to visit my parents sometime in 2019, I may never see them again. You see what I mean? It would really suck if we come out there, we visit you guys, and we come back home and immediately the next thing I have to do is like sell the house. But if that has to be, I guess it has to be. You know what I mean?
And they're basically at the time of their lives when they don't know what's going to happen. At any day, they could take a turn for the worse, and it could be, that's it. So they want, knowing that I was living with Kat for a year, and we were engaged, and that, we were in love with each other, they wanted us to go out there to meet them, they wanted Kat to meet them and spend time with them, and us to have almost like a couple days to ourselves away from all the stress of work or whatever. Because the thing is, I talk to my parents every single week. Every weekend I call my parents and I talk to them, and I tell them all about myself and what's going on with my life and everything. So they're always in the know about everything that's going on with me, 100%. They laugh at all the shit that people say and do about me slanderously, because they know it's all bullshit. But they paid for everything.
There was no formal real ceremony. No money was really spent at all on the ceremony.
All that being said, all right, I raised funds for these federal taxes before the trip out there, all right, and all of a sudden, Phil took all that money for the taxes and he spent it on his wedding, all right. I just want you to think how stupid this sounds. The week before, I flew to Connecticut to get married and spend time with my parents. I raised money to pay for the wedding. On what fucking planet do you think that you pay for a wedding the day that it happens? I mean, it really just gets me. Like, huh? Like, weddings are paid for months in advance. They take tons of arrangement and planning. If you're gonna get a wedding hall, or you're gonna pay for anything, everything has to be done up front, early. It's insane that these people just think that, like, Phil had a fake tax crisis and immediately spent the money to pay for his trip to Connecticut. So the plane tickets I bought the night before, apparently. It's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense, the things that they say, but this is what I mean. Like, so now, all the things that I've addressed, I'm just going to read them again. Are you guys ready? Threw his fiancée under the bus and turned her private medical issue into a drama stream. Didn't happen. Demanded she never go to a hospital again, instead that they give her a pill and leave her where they found her. Didn't happen. Lied about money issues for a year. Non-stop begging for cash while flying a girl out, to see him. Didn't happen. Used tax donations to move the woman in with him. Didn't happen. Used tax donations to marry the woman. Didn't happen. Stole fan donations that went towards the Project 7 reboot. Didn't happen. Refused to pay friends for the work they did. Only used to make money, and you only used them to make money and make more off of dead friends until he lost them all. Didn't happen. Wants to hit an 11-year-old girl. Didn't happen. Groomed 2 fangirls and used them for sex and extra money. Oh. Didn't happen. But the one that I really didn't say yet. This is the one that gets me the most. Everyone's a paid shill tweet. Okay? Apparently, last year I put out a tweet that said everyone's a paid shill. That's not what happened. What happened was, I'll tell you the full story. You guys ready for this? So, Kat and I had a week where we wanted to do some fun stuff together, but we knew that we couldn't really afford to do much, all right? And what we decided to do is called a staycation, where you take some time away from your work to kind of stay at home and do stuff around the house, all right? And we had some plans of projects we wanted to do around the house. One of the things we wanted to do, I'm revealing this for the first time ever, was go to the Space Needle. We live in a suburb of Seattle, and we wanted to drive in to Seattle for one day and do some touristy things in Seattle and then come home. I didn't disclose any of this to any of you because I was afraid if I did, you'd have assholes trying to fuck with us, trying to show up at the Space Needle or do stupid shit. Who knows, right?
Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
What ended up happening was, she got sick, all right? So we ended up doing a few things, but she ended up getting sick. The whole week was a disaster. This was supposed to be our week where we spend time together and do fun, meaningful stuff as a new couple living together, you know, because at that point, we'd only lived together for a few months, I think. And it was like, wow, this is going to be amazing. She got sick, and we couldn't do anything, because she was just awful sick. And here I am feeling fucking miserable. And when this happened, I was contacted by a few fans who were like, Phil, are you aware that people are playing State of Decay 2 a whole week early on Twitch? And, you know, you go to their streams, and people are actually tossing them thousands of dollars on these streams for them, you know, because basically they're showing off these games early. And I'm like, it really rubbed me the wrong way.
I mean, I'll be honest, just like any other normal human, yes, am I jealous of certain people and people who are successful and whatever? Of course I am. Of course I'm going to have jealousy. That's a natural human emotion for those who have more than you. You're always going to have that natural kind of jealousy of those who maybe have, been more successful or things like that.
All right, and I put out a tweet that was really stupid, that was worded incorrectly, that if you just read it for what it said something that was not what I was meaning to say, all right? What I wanted to say was I 100% disagree with the practice of game publishers and developers putting out video games where they put them out early for special influencers. A person gets a person gets a game a whole week early and gets to play it on Twitch exclusively. Not only are they making money to do it because it's a special sponsored stream, but now their viewers are so happy because they get to see a game early, they throw them thousands of dollars extra. All right? It's bullshit. It's a very bad practice, especially because in particular there was a certain person playing State of Decay 2 early who was told by the company, you may not give your opinion on the game because there's a review embargo until the middle of the week. So in the middle of the week, then you can begin to give your opinions. You can play the game early, but you're not allowed to actually give any criticism of the game while you play it until the middle of the week. So it's a paid advertisement then. That's exactly what it is. You can't criticize the game. It's a paid advertisement. All right? Now, I personally hate this practice. Hate this practice.
So that's what it is. It's an element of jealousy. Day one views, day one inflated views, make the money.
I think it's horrible. I think it's this whole influencer idea is ruining the gaming industry because you're getting people who, number one, are spoiling the game weeks early, who, number two, are telling you a game is good or at least showing a game and, like, I'm not allowed to say anything bad, so it makes it look good. So you'll go buy the game when in reality that game is not good. State of Decay 2 was one of the worst games of last year, my opinion. That's my opinion. It was. It was inferior to the first game. It was poorly made. It was full of bugs. It was just a piece of garbage. And it was a ripoff, but people probably ran out and bought it based on a few people who got that game early, all right, and played it on Twitch, made a ton of bank on it, for a bad game, and people ran out and bought it based on the hype that they generated, which is unfair. It's not legitimate gameplay. It's a paid advertisement. It's being a shill. It is being a shill for a company. Okay? Later on last year, I was able to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as a sponsored stream on Twitch. Here's the difference between what I did and what I criticized. I was able to be fair with the game. I was told you can criticize the game fairly when you're playing it. You can give your opinions on it. You can be honest about what you're experiencing in-game. And I was. I didn't pull any punches when I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I told the honest truth. The game is too much of a grind. There's too much side content. It's too long and drawn out. It could be much faster paced and better. I was honest during my entire playthrough of that game.
King of hypocrisy.
So I was able to do an honest stream of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I didn't play the game early, and I made a little bit of extra money on it. That's far different from a sponsored influencer who's playing a game a week early, the only person who has access to that game and gets to play it early, makes thousands of dollars from their viewers, plus thousands of dollars from a fucking game publisher / marketer. I completely disagree with that practice. It's dishonest, and it's hurtful to the consumer. The tweet that I put out said something like, everyone who's playing State of Decay 2 early right now is a paid shill, and you shouldn't support their content. You should wait for people who are going to play it legit when it comes out on Friday. By saying it that way, not only did I insult a whole group of people who I didn't mean to criticize, game journalists who had been playing it early to legitimately put out game reviews later in the week, but I also made myself look like a tremendous ass because I didn't elaborate on the topic, and everyone legitimately destroyed me during this week when I was supposed to be off from doing anything game related because I was pissed off at a situation at home. I made a stupid tweet. And you know what? I'll 100% fess up to it. 100%. That's on me. I fucked up.
What? This shocks me.
Alright, everyone. To end this special, alright, I want to end with the hot topic. The topic that the tweet itself that went viral and all the big content creators are talking about. The tweet where basically, it's my incident. Alright? It's my incident. Where in 2016, I accidentally showed something on stream I didn't mean to show.
In mid-2016, I accidentally streamed myself masturbating.
Alright, and for the first time ever, I can disclose to you what really happened behind the scenes and why it happened and how dumb it was. I mean, I'm a complete bonehead for doing it. I've already fessed up to doing it a million times. The bottom line was, at that point in my relationship with my ex, things were not going well. Things were starting to fall apart at the seams. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes stress, and we were not getting along at all. It was to the point where, like, we were living together as roommates, but there was no love there anymore. It was kind of just like we're going through the motions to say that we're together, but we weren't really doing anything that was anything fun or interesting together, and we really, a lot of the things that we had loved to do weren't fun anymore. You know what I mean? So I was depressed. I'll be honest, I've told you guys before publicly about my depression, that I suffered from depression. I was depressed, and it was a time when there was no intimacy to speak of whatsoever, and I was an idiot. I was a complete idiot, and I did something really stupid behind the scenes I shouldn't have done.
Splashed, and then it got on my hand. So my hand's like sticky, and it fucking splashed all over me. What the hell? It seriously, and splashed all over my face and my pants. What the fuck?
Why the hell, of all the time, not to say that there's anything wrong with someone doing that in their own private space, why the fuck was I doing it when a pre-stream was running, right? When I had a fucking things running here at the beginning of the stream. It's stupid as fuck, alright? It was one of the dumbest, it had to be the dumbest thing I've ever done. I mean, seriously, the dumbest thing I've ever fucking done. It had to have been. That being said, the things that people say about it to this day are wrong. Now, this happened, first of all, three years ago. It was early May of 2016. People still say it was like last year, the year before. It was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, but people still bring it up like it was yesterday. They always will. I'll be 90 years old and they'll say, oh, remember that? I know. I'm never going to live it down. What are you going to do? But the things that they say about it are such complete horseshit misconceptions that I can't. First of all, Phil planned it. What? Phil planned it. Phil intentionally did that. On what world do you think that there would be any benefit from me planning out something like that and purposely doing it? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What benefit would there have been to me planning out and doing something like that intentionally? I mean, think about the insane risk involved. I could have lost my livelihood. I could have lost my ability to stream on Twitch and YouTube and make YouTube videos. I could have lost. Why would I have planned something like this? I don't understand, at all, how anyone could say that. Alright? No, it was a complete legitimate accident. That's number one. Number two, some people say, oh, well, you know, Phil did it. He masturbated in front of thousands of children.
Oh my god. That was great. Oh my god.
What? First of all, when do I have thousands of children on my stream ever? Never. When do I have thousands of people on my stream? Never. What the fuck are you talking about? This happened during a pre-stream, which is the intro that I run before I actually put out the actual content that I'm streaming.
And probably two of them accidentally looked up at their screen and said, what the fuck is that? And then, you know, their lives were changed forever.
Because
Oh!
benefit.
Oh!
And, where are we headed?
That is disgusting. Disturbing and disgusting.
Some people claim that, like, I'm an exhibitionist, and this is something that I always used to do behind the scenes, and it's just nuts. It's just fucking nuts, the things that people say. But in reality, I was in a bad time in my life. I was depressed, and I was not having a good relationship with the person who I was with at the time. We didn't really see any way out of the situation we were in, and it was painful. And I had a really dumb moment of fucking weakness, and an accident happened. The camera was on.
What is up, everyone? Hello, hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on.
But the thing is that people record everything that I do, hoping for that moment. They're hoping for that moment of weakness. They're hoping for that thing that he can twist or turn into something bad. So oh my god, we got our jackpot, right? I've been recording everything Phil's done for the past 7 years. I finally got my moment where now I could turn this into an internet meme. And it did. That's exactly what happened. It turned into an internet meme. It exploded. And for the past 3 years, I never lived it down. I doubt I ever will. But no, Phil did not masturbate, in front of thousands of children, okay? This is not, this never happened. This is a ridiculous nonsense. Yeah, I just find it ludicrous that people still say that kind of stuff, okay? That's about what I have, and I've been now going on for about 90 minutes. Like I said, there are many other things that have been said about me over the years. And the truth is that, like I said, a lot of them back in the day when it used to be about gameplay or whatever would be based off of a snippet of truth here or there. All right, here's a legit question. Someone tipped me $1 and asked, did I get Almighty Tevin kicked off of Twitch TV? No.
That's 100% a lie.
I wholeheartedly will 100% tell you to your face, look into the camera as I say it as well, in case someone says, oh, Phil wasn't looking into the camera. I didn't get Tevin banned from Twitch. I had nothing to do with it at all. Zero. I didn't even know about it until after the fact. People came into my chat and told me. What happened is he pissed off people. Like, when you do stuff that not only negatively affects me, but affects other people, you piss off the wrong people, man. And you gotta understand that, like, people will eventually hold you accountable for shit that you've done. And he is the kind of guy that thinks that everything's fair game, and he can bring up shit about, you know, my relatives and shit about other people, like my moderators and my viewers, and he thinks that it's all funny, and it's not. It's fucked up that you would bring in personal shit like that, and I get the feeling that he rubbed the wrong person the wrong way, and they wrote Twitch management and said, what the fuck is going on with this guy? Did you watch 5 minutes of his stream to see what the fuck he's doing? And they got him shit canned, alright? I had nothing to do with it at all. I don't know if that's really the case. That's my speculation, but I have no truth about any of that, okay?
You're a scumbag, and you don't deserve any popularity you ever got, and you are eventually going to pay for what you're doing, just so you know. It always comes back to bite you in the end. You will end up having it hurt you in one way or another long term. Something's going to come back to get you in the end. When you do so much negativity and just toxic shit, it's going to come back to get you, trust me.
He says, did you know that there's people on YouTube who know how much money you make on cheers and tips? That's crazy. Well, here's what they think they know. They think they know, but what they don't understand is that there's processing fees for everything. So even though you see a certain amount of cheers coming in or a certain amount of tips coming in, that's not actually what I make. That's just the face value of what you see. And also there's always things that go on behind the scenes. You know, people trying to charge shit back and the like. And so, you know, I'm sure there's people who literally will sit there and with a calculator because they got nothing to do all day and they go, you know, that's how they are, right? Oh, yeah, that never happened either. So Dark tipped me $1. He says, can you debunk people saying that you leaked your ex-girlfriend's nude pictures on a video? That never happened. What happened was there was a picture of my ex-girlfriend. It wasn't a picture. It was a thumbnail of a picture, I think. Now, by the way, this is from, like, again, this is, you know, 2012, 2013, something like that, 100 years ago. And there was a little thumbnail somewhere on my desktop, or, you know, no, it was in a folder. And I had been recording a video doing something else, and apparently the thumbnail popped up. It wasn't a nude at all. It wasn't a nude at all. There's nothing nude whatsoever in the picture. It was a thumbnail and it was not a nude. But it was her, like, posing with her arm like this, so people assumed that it was a nude and started saying, oh, it's a nude, it's a nude. It wasn't a nude. If it was a nude, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I would have been banned from YouTube, stupid.
Now it's time to clean my ass. There we go.
Oh, I don't know anything about that, Madara's God. He's saying something about Bad Bunny being a banned term. Nope. The other thing is Tevin is not a banned term. People keep saying that I make these words, like words that people get banned for in the stream chat. I don't do that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. People just make shit up. They make shit up out of nowhere to try to create drama, and it's not me. I don't even know what the fuck people are talking about half the time. I don't.
False, wrong, incorrect, negative, no, nay, absolutely not. Fuck that, Phil. You are a dirty, rotten liar.
Golden Cold says, Twitter trolls always say you're an alcoholic. Address that and debunk. No, I'm not an alcoholic.
I used to drink so fucking much, man. I was bad. I told you guys, there was a time in my life I was depressed. I've talked publicly about my depression before, how I've suffered from it and everything. And you don't want to be butt fucked. Trust me. I had depression to the point where I was drinking like crazy every night, drinking myself to sleep because I hated my life and I hated everything going on around me. And obviously that was a horrendous time in my life that I would never want to go back to. You know, but now things are so much better. So much better.
I don't do that anymore. I had to do it for my health. Like, for my health, I had to stop doing that kind of unhealthy shit. Drinking all the time, eating terrible foods like red meat and stuff. I couldn't do that stuff. I couldn't. Because if I had done that stuff, I would have had horrendous health problems.
How's the gout, Phil?
So yeah, every once in a while, I'll go out and I'll have a drink. The trolls are so angry. The people who have really gone out of their way to make my life a living hell the last 7 years are so angry right now because I am having some positivity thrown at me on the internet because of the tweets that I made in the past couple of days. And they hate that. Oh my god, that anyone would see Phil in a positive light is like the worst possible thing, okay? They're so angry.
No.
It's funny, I'm making this special tonight to clear the air about a lot of things. They're saying in the stream chat right now, okay, and saying, you didn't prove anything tonight. Where's the concrete evidence? What evidence do you want?
And you know what? Some people actually at this point don't believe me anymore. People don't believe me anymore. And that's the problem is I ignore it and I got people accusing me who are fans of mine saying they think that it might be true. And I'm like, are you crazy? And tons of dumb people have fucking left. Why do you think they're my detractors now?
How do you expect me to fucking prove the opposite? I can't. You have to be logical humans and realize for yourselves that you have to have a little ounce of just fucking intelligence and maturity in your heads to realize that if all this shit has been said about Phil all these years, yet Phil's still here, he's still on YouTube, he's still on Twitch, he's never been, you know, banned or anything from any of these places.
This kind of shit needs to come out. This kind of shit needs to be exposed for what it is. But I think what Twitch is saying is we don't want that kind of crap on our site. My Twitch account, DarkSidePhil, is suspended for 72 hours. And all of a sudden, a message pops up and appears in my stream chat. This account has been suspended from Twitch. Twitch is now gone. I got the chair.
You believe any of that shit, you are gullible. You fell for something with no evidence, pure speculation, because there couldn't have been evidence of something that's not true. And you bought it, hook, line, and sinker, and you're the one who created the problem with these people who literally just say whatever they want. And you will, you know, if you're that gullible.
It's insanity. It's absolute insanity that you would believe shit with no evidence. And like I said, my loyal viewers and followers who trust me anyway are going to believe me anyway. And so, it does, you know, things are going to continue as business as usual.
All the things we talked about tonight, there was never a lick of actual concrete evidence for any of it, yet people talk about these things as if they are the God's honest truth about me, that they've been proven time and time again to be true. And like I said, this actual picture I'm bringing up is an actual fucking picture I screen grabbed off of Twitter. Alright, you can't see it because you're trying to capture my phone, so you'll never see it. It's an actual screen. This is what people are passing around Twitter right now, responding to people saying nice things about me on Twitter. Well, here's all the negative things about Phil. That's what I just debunked on stream here for you. But this is what they do. And oh, well, this is facts about Phil. Oh my god, I can't believe it. No, none of that is true at all, but they pass it around as if it is. So, you see what I mean? Like, what defense do you have besides just coming out and saying, no, this is not correct, okay? A lol cow tip me $1. This doesn't even make sense. Lolcow tipped me $1. Can you clear up how people said you scammed your fans by not playing Super Mario Sunshine? I did play Super Mario Sunshine. Debunked. You can find it on my YouTube channel right now. There you go. Madara is God, so can you clear up for trolls who think you're abusing your mods because of swag and spreading lies? Madara is God, wouldn't you be the person to clear that up? You're one of my mods. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. That whole situation, everyone knows the truth about the situation, is that Swaggins, went nuts when he told me something incorrect during my Resident Evil 2 playthrough. It was blatantly worded incorrectly in the stream chat, and he tried to defend himself staunchly, when in reality, everyone watching the stream I was watching as I read it word for word, and it made no sense what he said. I did what he said, didn't work, he had worded it wrong, and he was so angry that I would call him out on the stream that he had a grudge against me ever since then, and the whole time I played Sekiro, he was on my ass, ragging me, saying that I sucked at the game, and how dare I criticize the game, it's me because I suck, and yada yada yada, to the point where he got angry and he left, and that's all it was. He had a bug up his ass because he got called out on stream for doing something wrong.
You have now, Swaggins, basically become me. So that is it. Thank you guys. You know, a few other people cheered. One of them was a troll. And I don't know if he got banned or not, because he insulted me twice. So hopefully he did get banned. No, he didn't. Are you kidding me? Swaggins, you're in the chat, and you didn't see the person who insulted my girlfriend, and then it's twice? Give me a headache, man. Oh my god. Stop being a fucking fanboy. I mean it. You gotta fucking stop, dude. You've got to stop. You gotta start fucking being a normal person and stop kissing ass, dude. Stop being a drone. Stop being a fucking sheep. Get the fuck out of here. Stop being a drone. Stop being a fucking sheep.
And he didn't like that. He felt that over the years that he had been a moderator and the fact that he had supported me financially, that I guess I should have given him a pass or whatever. And I guess he wanted some kind of special treatment because of it, and he was very upset about it, and he decided to leave. There was literally nothing on my end. I had no problems with the guy. I never had anything wrong to say about him. He left of his own accord. He told me to demod him. It was all on his side. Every negative thing is on his side, not mine. And if he ever came back and we talked or whatever, I guess I'd probably say, let bygones be bygones, but I heard that he's gone off and just talked endless shit about me on all the wrong places, as you know, which is what people do when they feel that, oh no, my time with DSP is done, let me jump to the other side to get a cheap pop from the other side, right? It's exactly what they always fucking do, so. It is what it is, who cares? And Uzi just cheers, any statements on former mods, Jonosaurus Rex or Kigalian? I don't know. Jonosaurus Rex, used to be a mod and just basically couldn't mod anymore, so we demodded him. Gallion was the person who I mentioned in this video who was upset that I didn't make the Project 7 trailer. That's it. He was upset I didn't make the Project 7 trailer, and he said, I'm not going to watch your stuff anymore, and that was the end of our relationship.
I hope that this cleared up a lot of misconceptions for a lot of people that they've had for over the years. It's on you guys to believe me or not, and I know there's many people who won't, and there's many people who will, and that's okay. It is what it is, you can judge for yourself. But the bottom line is for as much as you say, well, there's no evidence, Phil, of what you said, well, guess what? There's no evidence of any of the shit that these people say about me because it's not true. They will never show you a concrete lick of evidence because they can't, because it doesn't exist. That guy is such a two-faced fat piece of shit. He pisses me off. Like, I seriously hate people like that are so fucking dishonest and two-faced and will do anything to make a fucking nickel. He's disgusting.
You know what I mean? If they did, they would show it, and then that would be it. If definitively I had done the horrible things, I would have been banned from YouTube, banned from Twitch, banned from Twitter, banned from the internet, banned from the Earth, banned from the Milky Way, launched off into a black hole, shot across, the whole plane of existence, and had all my molecules ripped apart at the seams, because how could someone so horrible as me even be allowed to exist in this plane of existence, right? See what I mean? But none of that ever happened because it's all bullshit on my behalf and my expense, so they can get clickbait. And you fell for it if you believed any of that stuff. And it sucks if you did, I can't blame you for it, especially now that there's so much stuff that goes on negative about me in the last 7 years that people just believe it as fact. But the bottom line is none of it is true. A lot of it's based on snippets of fact or things here or there, but none of it is true. And no one will ever show you evidence otherwise because it ain't true. This guy says, debunk the rumor of me making $20,000 a month. Even at the height of my YouTube popularity, which was the year of 2012, all right? It was actually the second half of 2011, and I say the first 3 months, or the first 3 quarters of 2012. That was the height. I mean, most views coming in and everything. I didn't make $20,000 a month. Never. Never in my YouTube career have I made $20,000 a month. It's insanity. It's just stupid shit. People talking out of their asses. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Lie, 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 lie. His wife's boyfriend.
Oh, by the way, I'm banging your wife.
They're up here!
Just thought I'd let you know.
What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.